look at these sentences, can you identify the words that add detail to the action or tell us more about or how it happened? So if you guess that gracefully, loudly, and yesterdays, you are correct. Those are adverbs. These are called adverbs. Adverbs are words that tell us or they modify or describe a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. They add flavor to our language. Now, we are going to look at the different types of adverbs because we've said that adverbs, they try to tell us, they answer the question where, when, how, to what extent, how much. Those are the things that adverbs try to answer. So anytime you have a sentence and it answers the question how. For example, the baby is crying. The baby cried bitterly. So bitterly tells us how the baby cried. So that one tells us about the adverb of manner. It tells us how this thing happened. So as we delve towards the word, towards the types of adverbs, let us look at the different types of adverbs. So on the screen we have the adverbs of manner, and the examples are quickly, softly, quietly, loudly, peacefully, speedily. For example, in a sentence, the baby slept peacefully. So when we talk about peacefully, here we are talking about the manner in which the baby slept. So it answers the question how. And from our definition of the adverb of manner, it answers the question how something happens. So in the sentence, the baby slept peacefully, it answers the question how the baby slept. So those are the adverbs of manner. You can come up with different sentences like quietly, loudly. For example, the teacher is speaking loudly. That is an adverb of manner because it tells us how. And then we come to quickly. He walked quickly because he was late for the lectures. So that one is an adverb of manner because it answers the question how. How did the student walk? The student walked quickly. So, in a nutshell, we are saying that the adverb of manner, they answer the question how. How something happened. Did it happen quickly? Did it happen? Did the children speak happily? So when you notice the adverb of manner, you're going to discover that most of the adverbs of manner end with an ly. It has an ly at the end. And when you look at your screen, the examples of the adverb of manner, they end with a ly because they are trying to show us the manner in which an action happened. So when you're asked about how did this happen, then when you're using the adverb of manner, you add an ly to the adverb. So those are the adverbs of manner. You can come up with different adverbs. You can go through the internet, research more on the adverb of manner, and use them in your daily conversation. So I expect that by the end of this, you should be able to come up with the adverbs of manner, talk to different people, talk to your parents at home, talk to your friends using the adverb of manner. Now we are going to the second type of adverb, and this is the adverb of time. When we talk about time, we are answering the question when. When are you coming to class? I am coming to class tomorrow. So when you look at that, we are talking about the adverb of time because it answers the question when. When will you be going to the market? I will be going to the market in the evening. So we have the adverbs of manner. We have today, we have afterward, tomorrow, after, later, always. These are just but a few adverbs of manner. There are so many adverbs of manner that we have in place, but these are just but a few. Now, when we talk about answering the question when are you going, for example, when I talk about When will you call me? I will call you tomorrow. I have answered the question, when. So anytime you are asked to identify the type of adverb, kindly consider that when we look at the adverbs here, we are trying to answer a question. And in this place here, we are trying to answer the question, when. When does a thing happen? When do you do something? So that is the adverb of time. It answers the question, when. So I expect you, my learners, my viewers at home, to use the adverb of time to construct sentences, to use it in the daily conversation. For example, you might be asked by your parents, when are you going to bed? And then you're going to answer, I will go to bed at 9 o'clock. So there you have used an adverb of time because you have answered the question, when. When does something happen? So that is the adverb of time. It answers the question, when. Let us look at the other type of adverb, because we've said that adverbs, they answer different types of question, and right now I want us to look at the different types of question that the other adverb that you're going to look, we are going to look at the adverb of place. Now, when you talk about the adverb of place, the adverb of place, so the adverb of place here, they answer the question, where. They answer the question, where. The adverbs of place answer the question, where. Where are you going to? You can say, I am going outside. So outside here is an adverb of place because it answers the question, where. We have the different types of adverbs of place, and that is inside, we have there, we have up, we have here, down, outside. But those are just but a few, because when you look further, when you read your resources, when you read the materials, you're going to discover that the adverb of place, there is a variety. Now, we are going to look at an adverb of place in a sentence. For example, the children are playing outside. So when you look at the sentence, the children are playing, the students are playing outside. So outside automatically becomes the adverb of place because it answers the question, where. Where are the children playing? The children are playing outside. So this is an adverb of place because it answers the question, where. So anytime you are answering a question, where, then we are talking about the adverb of place. So I want you as the students, kindly try to look for more adverbs of place, come up with sentences, use them in your communications, because we are going to answer the question, where. We have the other type of adverb. Let us look at the other type of adverb that we have. We have the adverb of degree. So when you talk about the adverb of degree, it answers the question, to what extent? To what extent does an activity get to? So, for example, when I say, I am very tired, I am very tired. So it shows to what extent I am tired. So that is a what? An adverb of degree. So when we look at the adverb of degree, most of the adverbs of degree, they use the following words, and we are going to look at the words in the adverb of degree. So we are talking about the adverb of degree. Now, when we look at the adverb of degree, here we are going to have words that are going to modify the verb. The words that are going to modify the verb. So we have words such as very, we have to, we have extremely. So these are adverbs of degree. They show the what? To what extent something happened. For example, I was very happy when I saw him. Now, when we look at very happy, happy is an adjective. Remember, we said that adverbs, they try to tell us more about a verb or an adjective. So when I say I was very happy, very is an adverb of degree because it tells us to what extent. To what extent was I happy? I was very happy. So this is an adverb of degree. Now, there's one thing you need to know about the adverb of degree. There are some words that we cannot use the adverb of what? Of degree. For example, you cannot say that he is very dead. When you say that he is very dead, this one we cannot use it because when somebody dies, we do not have the degree of dying. When you are dead, you're just dead. So we cannot use very, that is an adverb, to modify the verb what? Dead. So the adverb of degree, it is only limited to some words. That is some adverbs, some verbs, and some adjectives. So that is what it means when it comes to the adverb of degree. It tells us to what extent. To what extent is this thing happening? It is extremely hot today. So extremely here has been used to modify the word hot. So that is the adverb of degree. It answers the question, to what extent? To what extent does something happen? Let us look at the other adverb. Let us look at the final adverb, and that is the adverb of frequency. So when you talk about the adverb of frequency, it answers the question, how often? How often does something take place? I always visit him. So that shows that this is a habit. It's something that I always do. So when we talk about the adverb of frequency, here we are talking about how often is something done. How often do you go to school? I go to school every day, or I go to school daily. So when we look at this, the adverb of frequency, we have words such as always. These ones to show that this is something that keeps on recurring. It's something that keeps on going on. And then we have rarely. It means I never do it. It's something that if you find me doing it, it is in a very what? Maybe in a very special occasion. So rarely, we have always. We also have sometimes. These are the adverbs of frequency because they answer the question, how often? So when we look at the adverbs, we are talking about how. That is the adverb of manner. How does something happen? We talk about where do these things happen. That is the adverb of place. And then when do they happen? That is the adverb of time. We have how often do these things happen? That is the adverb of frequency. And then to what extent? That is the adverb of degree. Now, I'm going to give you an activity. Let us work together. There is an activity that I'm going to show you so that we work together and identify the type of adverbs in the sentences that are going to be displayed on your screen. Just a moment. We are going to look at the adverbs there. You're going to find the adverbs, and from that work, we will be able to know what type of adverb is that. So I have 3 sentences, and the sentences are, the cat jumped gracefully. Sentence number 2, I visited my grandmother yesterday. And then we say, she speaks quite fluently. Now, let's work together to identify the adverbs in these sentences. Remember to think about how, where, when, how often, or to what extent something happens. So when you're going to do that work, remember, number 1, you are identifying the adverb. Number 2, you're going to tell me the type of adverb that has been displayed there. What type of adverb is there? Because we have 3 sentences. The cat jumped gracefully. I visited my grandmother yesterday. She speaks quite fluently. I want you to identify the adverbs, underline the adverbs, and then you tell me the type of adverbs that are there. So I'm going to give you like 3 seconds just to identify the adverbs, to underline the adverbs, and tell me the type of adverbs that have been displayed there. So let us work out together. Let us identify the adverbs. When you look at the sentence, the cat jumped gracefully. What is the adverb? The adverb in that sentence is gracefully. Now, what type of adverb is this? This is an adverb of manner because it tells us how did the cat jump. The cat jumped gracefully. So that is an adverb of manner. Let us look at the second sentence. I visited my grandmother yesterday. What is the adverb in the sentence, I visited my grandmother yesterday? When you look at that sentence, it answers the question when. So any adverb that answers the question when, that is an adverb of time. I visited my grandmother yesterday. Yesterday is the adverb of time because it answers the question when. When did this thing happen? Now, we come to the last sentence. She speaks quite fluently. When you look at that sentence, we want to identify the adverb. The adverb in the sentence, she speaks quite fluently. The adverb is quite. Now, what type of adverb is quite? It is an adverb of degree because it answers the question, to what extent? To what extent? So for those people who are not able to identify the adverbs, we are going to show you the answers to the adverbs, the answers to the questions that we've just displayed. So what are the answers so that you can be able to check them very fast? So let us look at the answers to those 3 questions that I had posed earlier. That is, the cat jumped gracefully. I visited my grandmother yesterday. She speaks quite fluently. So what are the answers? And we've said that the answers are gracefully, that's an adverb of manner. We have yesterday, an adverb of time. We have quite, which is an adverb of degree. So those are the adverbs and the different types of adverbs that we've looked at. Now I'm going to give you an exercise so that I'm going to give you a paragraph so that you're able to identify some of the adverbs. Remember, we've talked about the different types of adverbs, and I repeat that we have the adverb of time. The adverb of time answers the question where. So we have the adverb of time. The adverb of time, it answers the question where. Where are you going? So that is an adverb of time. It answers the question where. I am going to the market. It simply answers where I am headed to. We have the adverb of place. We also have the adverb of place, the one that we've spoken about. So the adverb of place here, it answers, the adverb of time, it answers the question when. The adverb of place, it answers the question where. And then we have the adverb of manner. The adverb of manner, this one you can identify very fast because it ends with ly. It answers the question how. We have the adverb of degree. We have the adverb of degree, which answers to what extent. To what extent does something happen? And then we have the adverb of frequency. We have the adverb of frequency. And when you talk about the adverb of frequency, it simply answers the question, how often? It answers the question, how often do something happen? So those are the adverbs there in a nutshell. But now I'm going to give you an activity so that you are able to identify the adverbs that we've just spoken about. So let us look at the activity so that we are able to answer the paragraph. So we have, she gently closed the door behind her and fell asleep peacefully. Identify the adverb in the sentence, she gently closed the door behind her and fell asleep peacefully. So that is, let us look at the answers towards that question. She gently closed the door behind her and fell asleep peacefully. So when you look at the answers, the words that have been highlighted, gently, behind, peacefully, those are adverbs. So when you look at the adverbs, we have the adverb of manner, we have the adverb of place, we also have the adverb of manner. So let us look at another activity for us to be able to do another sentence, just to know whether we've understood the different types of adverbs. We've looked at the adverb of time, the adverb of place, adverb of manner, adverb of degree. So let's look at another sentence. So we have that work there. We are going to use some adverbs to make the sentences more interesting. Remember, when you talk about adverbs, they try to bring flavor in whatever work we are doing. So the boy ran. He reached school. He sat for his exam. So let us look at the different types of adverbs that are going to help us make these sentences more interesting. Because when we talk about the adverbs, they are always descriptive in nature. They try to describe something. And when you're talking about the description here, we are looking at the adverbs themselves, the verbs, and also we are looking at the adjectives. So remember, when it is able to describe all these, this is the superpower of the adjective. So I'm going to give you some few seconds, add some adverbs there, make the sentences more interesting. Because when you talk about adverbs, they try to make our work interesting. When you're writing your piece of work, let's say it's a composition you've been given by your teacher, when you use adverbs, you're going to make your story more interesting. It's just not going to be like the boy ran. How did the boy run? He reached school. So what did he do? Did he reach school late? Was he early? And then he sat for his exam. How was he when he was sitting for his exam? So let us look at some of the answers that we have on the adverbs. Let us look at the answers that we have there. So, like the answer that I have for number 1, the boy ran quickly. So when you look at quickly, it tells us how the boy ran. How did the boy run? The boy ran quickly. That is an adverb of manner. It tells us how. And when you look at the sentence, you can now be able to create some vivid pictures in your mind. You can be able to see clearly that this boy, the manner in which the boy was running. And then we look at the other sentence. He reached school on time. He reached school on time. That is the adverb of time. So when he reaches school on time, we expect good things to happen. So this person, he ran quickly, and because of him running quickly, he was able to reach school on time. On time is the adverb of time. Now we come to the third sentence. He sat for his exam nervously. Why did this person sit for the exam nervously? Maybe he had not read the previous night. Maybe he thought that he's not yet ready for the examination. Maybe the teacher just gave them an impromptu exam. So we never know why this student sat for the exam nervously. So when we look at the word nervously, this is the adverb of manner because it tells us how this student sat for the exam. He sat for the exam nervously. That is an adverb of manner. Now, when you look at the three sentences, you are able to get a clear picture of what is happening. And that is what adverbs do. The adverbs, they try to tell us exactly, they are describing, like when you talk about running, somebody is running. We do not know how this person is running. So when you say that the person ran quickly, then we are able to know that indeed this person was running quickly. And you can figure somebody who is running very fast. And when you look at a person who runs very fast, maybe you can think of Eliud Kipchoge running very fast. And when you say that he was running very quickly, so we don't know why was he running quickly. Maybe he was running quickly because he was late, or he was running quickly so that he goes and revises something about the examination. So we never know why this person was running quickly. So when you talk about the adverbs, they try to bring the flavor in whatever we are talking. You are able to describe your actions vividly. You are able to create a clear mental picture on what exactly is happening. So that is the adverb. Let us look at the next exercise. So in the next exercise, we have a passage. We have a short paragraph that I'm going to read for you. Lila wakes up every day and carefully makes her bed. She always eats breakfast slowly in the kitchen. Sometimes she plays outside with her dog, who happily runs around the yard. She never forgets to feed him because she loves him very much. Lila is quite happy with her daily routine. So when you check the paragraph on the screen, I want you to first read the sentences. Read the sentences first. Ensure that you are observing the punctuation marks that are there. And then from then, you underline the adverbs that are on the screen. So you can write it down maybe in your exercise book, or better still, when you get the adverbs, you write them down and then you tell me the type of adverb that has been used. Because in my paragraph, there are different types of adverbs, and I want you to identify those adverbs that have been used there. And it's from the adverbs, it's from the identification that you're going to tell me the type of adverb that has been used there. So kindly just do the work there. I've said that you read the passage, you read the paragraph silently, and then you can work with maybe with your sibling at home. You can work with your sibling. You can ask your guardian to help you. Your parent can help you to identify the adverbs that are on the screen. So take this time just to read the short paragraph on your screen, and it's from there whereby you're going to identify the adverbs, the different types of adverbs. Remember, our focus is the different types of adverbs, and we've said that there are 5 different types of adverbs. The adverb of time answers the question when. The adverb of place answers the question where. The adverb of manner answers the question how. And then we have the adverb of degree. It answers the question, to what extent. And then we have the adverb of frequency, which answers the question, how often. So let me see how far we can get. So let's read the passage, identify the adverbs. You identify the adverbs on your screen. We have the adverbs there. I need the adverbs, the passage itself, kindly. Yeah, that's the passage. So we are going to use that passage there to answer the different types of adverbs, because we've learned the different types of adverbs, and from the passage there, from the paragraph on the screen, we have those adverbs there. So I'm going to give you like 2-3 minutes, 1 minute per se, just 1 minute for you to do that, to identify the adverbs, because that is what we are looking at, the adverbs. So you underline the adverbs, ask your parent, ask your guardian. You can also research on the same, look at it, and then you look at it, the different adverbs on the screen. That's what you're looking at. So you identify the adverbs. It's from this work here that you're going to come up with the answers. I will show you the answers for these adverbs, but in the meantime, I want you to find the adverbs. What are the adverbs? Which adverbs have been used, and why? What type of adverbs are they? So let us look at the adverbs. Okay, so yeah, let's look at the answers to our adverbs today. So what are the answers? So the answers, when we talk about, so we have the adverbs of time, early, every day, sometimes. Did you underline those? If you did that, well done. That's very good. Early, every day, sometimes. That is the adverb of time. And then we come to the adverb of manner. From our passage, we have words such as carefully, slowly, happily. So did you underline those ones? If you did that, I want to tell you that you did a very good job. Kudos to you. We come to the adverb of place. We have in the kitchen, outside, around the yard. So those are adverbs of place because they answer the question where. We have the adverb of frequency from our passage again. Always, sometimes, never. So those are the adverbs of frequency that we are able to find from our passage. We have the adverb of degree. So when you look at the adverb of degree, we have very, we have quite. So from the passage that you read, those are the adverb of degree. If you are not able to identify the adverbs correctly, you can do that. You can make corrections, write the correct adverbs, identify them, and then ask yourself, why is it that I was not able to get the correct adverb? Why is it that I was not able to get the correct adverbs? So when you answer that, and maybe you can do more research on the same, check out, look at the different types of adverbs that we have, come up with your own sentences so that you are able to do the right thing. So those are the answers to the adverbs. You can correct your work if you made a mistake, or if you find that you did not identify correctly, you can correct your work right now from the answers that are on your screen. So those are the different types of adverbs, and we've looked at them. And I hope that you're going to make a paragraph on your own. Write a short paragraph. Maybe write a paragraph on how the holiday is going on. Maybe you woke up in the morning, something happened. Write it down. You can jot it down. You can use a journal to see whether you understand the adverbs, because it's from journaling that you are able to know whether you have understood the topic that has been taught. So you can sit down, ask yourself, why is it that I'm not able to identify the adverb of manner? And then you'll come up with your own answer. You'll say that, maybe I was not able to identify the ly words, the words that are ending with an ly. So ask yourself such questions when you journal. It's very important for students to always journal. After you've learned the whole day, take out your journal, see what you've done, make reflections on the lesson, like the lesson that I've taught you today on the adverbs. Those are the adverbs of time, the adverbs of place, adverb of manner, and the adverb of degree. So let us look at the next slide and see. So when you look at the adverbs, I can give you a bit of, I can give you some questions that you can answer. Let me write for you this question. I want you to fill in the gaps with the correct adverbs. So you fill in the gaps. So we can say that we have number 1, they will meet us, and then we have a dash there. And I want you to use an adverb of time. They will meet us, dash. Use an adverb of time to answer that question. They will meet us, dash. Use the adverb of time. I have another sentence for you, sentence number 2. We can say that he visits his grandparents. He visits his grandparents. He visits his grandparents, dash. And then we have the adverb of frequency. I want you to come up with an answer on the adverb of frequency. They will meet us, dash. He visits his grandparents, dash. And then I have number 3. Let us use the adverb of place. So when you talk about the adverb of place, we have the sentence. The children are playing. The children are playing, dash. So I want you to use the adverb of place. What is the adverb of place? We have the 3 sentences. They will meet us, dash. I want you to use the adverb of time. He visits his grandparents, dash, the adverb of frequency. And then the children are playing, dash. So you look at the words that we had highlighted earlier and find the different types of adverbs. What are the answers? How do we fill in the gaps with the correct adverbs? They will meet us, dash. Remember, there are so many types of adverbs. You can come up with so many. If you want to break the sentence maybe into 3, or if you want to write as many sentences using the adverb of time, it's okay. So let us look at that. They will meet us, dash, and then he visits his grandparents, dash. The children are playing, dash. We are trying to find the adverbs from the work that I've just given you. What different types of adverbs can we look at? So, they will meet us, dash. When you look at the adverb of time, they will meet us tomorrow. You can say they will meet us tomorrow. So that is an adverb of time, because it tells us when these people are going to meet us. He visits his grandparents. Maybe you can say annually. So that is an adverb of frequency, because it answers the question, how often does this person visit the grandparents? The children are playing outside, or the children are playing in the field. So those are the adverbs. So when you look at the adverb of time, the adverb of frequency, we also have the adverb of place. The most important thing is for you to understand the types of adverbs and the question they answer. Because adverbs answer question. They answer the question how. They answer the question when. They answer the question how often. Okay. So we have how often. They answer the question how. We have how often, and then we have to what? We have to what? Extent. We have to what? Extent. So these are the questions that the adverbs try to answer. So anytime you are looking at the adverbs, always put in mind the questions that the adverbs are trying to do what? The questions that the adverbs are trying to answer. So that is the adverbs. So that's all we are looking at. And now we are going to look at the following sentence, and then you are going to try to make a sentence. So we have like the baby cried. So maybe the mother had gone somewhere and the baby is crying. So we have the baby cried. So when you look at the sentence, the baby cried, we are going to ask ourselves, how did the child cry? The baby cried bitterly. So the baby cried bitterly because the mother had left him alone. So we have the baby cried bitterly. It answers the question, how the baby cried. The baby cried bitterly. So when you look at the word bitterly, it tries to tell us more about the what? The verb cried. So this is the verb and this is the adverb. Tell us more about the verb bitterly. The baby cried bitterly, and that is what the sentence is trying to do. What? When you look at the adverb is trying to tell us more about the verb cried. So those are the adverbs. When you look at the adverbs, I'm going to repeat that an adverb, this is a word that tells us or describes more about a verb, an adverb, or an adjective. That is what is known as an adverb. Now, we've looked at the different types of adverbs. We've looked at the adverb of time. We've looked at the adverb of manner. We've looked at the adverb of frequency. We've also looked at the adverb of place. And we've looked at the adverb of degree. So anytime you are asked about adverbs, number one, know that adverbs tell us more about a verb. Remember, a verb is a doing word. It tells us more about an action. It's an action word. And when you look at the verbs, we have the verbs such as, let us look at that. So we've said that the adverb here tells us more about the what? It tells us more about the verb. And we've said that the verb is a doing word. So when we talk about the doing word or the action word, here we are looking at the different actions such as come. You can say come quickly. So come quickly, this is the verb and this is the adverb. This is the verb and this is the adverb. So we have the action verb, come quickly. Maybe you can say, you are told to speak what? Maybe you're told to speak eloquently. You are somebody who is speaking and you say that this person is speaking eloquently. That is a verb. And eloquently there is an adverb that is trying to tell us more about the verb. So the verb is a doing word. And we have different types of verb. We have the modal, we have the main verbs, and then we have the auxiliary verbs. But that is a topic of another day. I'm just trying to recap on this. And then we've said that the adverbs, it tells us more about an adjective. So an adjective here, this is a word that describes or tells us more about a noun. It describes or tells us more about a noun. Now, when you talk about a beautiful what? A beautiful girl. Beautiful there is an adjective. But now we want to look at how the adverb modifies the adjective. So we can say it is extremely expensive. So we can come here. Extremely expensive. It is extremely expensive. So here, this is an adverb. And then here we have an adjective. So that one tells us the adverb. It tells us more about an adjective. It tells us more about a verb. And it also tells us more about the adjective itself. It describes, it tries to describe or modify the what? The adverb, the adjective, and the verb. So those are the adverbs. And we've looked at the types of adverbs. That is the main point I want you to get. The different types of adverbs. That is what I want you to get. Now, let's summarize our topic today. Let's summarize our topic for today. And we are going to summarize by saying that adverbs are words that modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. Adverbs are words that modify. Modify is to describe or tell us more about something. So we are saying that the adverbs are words that modify verbs, adjective, or other adverbs. They tell us how, where, when, how often, or to what extent something happens. I repeat, the adverbs, they tell us how. So the adverbs that tell us how, those are the adverbs of manner. Where, that is the adverb of place. When, the adverb of time. How often, the adverb of frequency. And to what extent, that is the adverb of frequency. That is the adverb of degree, sorry. To what extent something happens. So we have explored the different types of adverbs and how to use them effectively. Remember, adverbs make your sentences shine. So I am now expecting that my students are going to use adverbs so that they make their sentences to be more appealing, to the reader. Let's say you're writing something for your teacher, and then the teacher reads your work. The teacher is going to understand that my child or my students know more about the adverbs. So that is one thing. Remember, the adverbs, they make our writing interesting. So if you are planning to make your work interesting, kindly ensure that you are using adverbs, because adverbs, they make our work what? Interesting. They make our work interesting. So if I am your teacher and I am marking your work, I see that you've used adverbs, I will know that indeed this work is interesting. And remember, they also enable us to make a mental picture. You're able to create a mental what? You're able to create a mental picture. So when we say the baby cried bitterly, you're going to picture the facial expression. How is this baby crying? When we say that she sang melodiously, you're going to think of that. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed learning about adverbs as much as I've enjoyed teaching you. Keep practicing, and I look forward to seeing you use adverbs to express yourself beautifully. Goodbye and happy learning.